you know, to what we observe in science and society and things like that.
And you'll hear about duality a lot in Wicca, especially in terms of projective and receptive, or
without moving.
Yeah, above, below. Active, passive. Because what you'll see in a lot of Wicca is classic duotheistic. And you'll see a lot of, okay, I'm going to worship the god and goddess, but I want to put a face on the god and goddess. So let's say I'm going to worship
Apollo and Artemis.
There we go. Not necessarily classically in a mythology siblings. Apollo and Artemis. When we have this duality of sun and moon. Or you could do, if you're in the Celtic mythology. Alright. Yeah, ever heard of Dagda? So you might have there's an old story of on a battlefield of Morgan and the Dagda getting it on.
That was, yeah.
Morgan being a triple goddess of sex, death, and warfare, and Dagda being a very paternal god, very much a creative god. So you would have that generative duotheistic ability.
And there are, countless examples. We could do, Freya and Odin.
Sure.
We can go through the category of different indigenous versions of Europe.
Isis and Osiris. Right.
And not just Europe either.
Sure.
We can go just about anywhere, and find those correlations.
And not just male and female, because we're not just talking about male and female is one thing. We are talking about generative aspects, as in sex for procreation. And if anyone really has any hang-ups about sex, anyone have any hang-ups about sex? Mention sex, dual. Because you got to remember, a lot of Wicca starts as a fertility cult. This is what a lot of this stuff. If you ever a classic Beltane or May Day Fest in England, you'll see a guy in a fool's outfit with a big stick and a bladder on the end, and he's smacking women on the butt. You know why? Anybody? So they can get pregnant.
Yep. Well, and if you look at a classic altar, which we'll talk about artificial tools in a further class, but when you're looking at classic things you have on an altar, one of the main things that most victims have on their altar is a blade and a chalice. The chalice resembling a woman's womb, and the blade being the phallus. So it's the exact idea of projection of receptive energy.
Yes, my art is as good as
Is
mine.
Is that to scale?
If you can't laugh at your religion, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, crude jokes aside. Okay. We'll talk about lower correspondence real quick. We'll talk about lower correspondence real quick.
Okay.
So, I've got this constant interchange, right? Internal and external, abstract and abstract. So, in terms of cosmology, we're talking about maps of the universe, right? So let's say we're going to really explore this one. But, I'll use elements. So I've got elements, okay? Everyone know what I mean by the 4 elements? Or no? If not, that's totally okay. Okay. 4 elements. Air, fire, H2O, air. Okay? When people say the elements, in this class, when we talk about the elements, this is what we're referring to. The 4 classical elements from Greco-Roman thought. So, let's say I can say these elements are, the universe is composed of these 4 elements. Okay? But, we'll talk about correspondences in a great deal, but let's say air isn't just air, it's breath. Okay? It's my breath. My breath, part of the primal elements, my breath is part of them. Let's say I'm having respiratory problems. Okay? So maybe I'm just going to say, I'm having problems with my air. Air is also an element of thought and creativity. Let's say I could say, oh, I'm having a problem with thought and creativity. I'm having a problem with air. It's almost like this this translatable effect. The basic idea is if I have any cosmological map, if it stands for one part of the universe, if we're talking about dividing the universe into different parts, I can find that part of the universe within myself, within others. And that these correspondences will correspond. There is because all these are maps of the universe, there will be a correspondence from one map to another map. It may not be pretty, may not be precise, but theoretically, we can make correspondences.
And there are a lot of correspondences that we have worked out, and things like that when it comes to the elements. More and more all the time. In fact, I was thinking about more than what we had worked out. But I'll leave them to guess some of them.
Yeah. Has anyone ever worked with tarot? Anyone ever worked with tarot? A couple of you have.
Well, even just like a regular playing card deck,
yeah.
You can see the 4 elements present. You've got the diamonds, which are like the coins of tarot, which would be representative of Earth. You've got the cups, the chalice, which is also that's hearts, and that would be water, obviously. And then you've got the stave, which, depending on who you talk to, some people will tell you air, other people will tell you fire. I'm of the school of thought that it's air, but that doesn't mean you can't think it's fire.
We're going too much on elements, which we're totally about to do. We're going to crazy on elements. You hate elements, get out now. There's other different maps. I mean, we can divide everything into duality. Have you ever seen any of these symbols? I'll show you that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one way to think of a map. If I divide everything into duotheism between hot, cold, high, low, whatever. Basically, wherever you have any type of opposites. Okay. Then we can go into elements. Talk about the 4 elements. There's also the 7 chakras.
7 chakras.
Anyone ever hear the chakras? Everyone? Maybe we'll skip chakras. I'll just go real quick.
We can go over it real quick.
So starting at the chakras are very much a map of like the human energetic body. So starting at the root chakra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
System, remember bottom
the chakra healer, the person who's been a chakra healer for 10 years. All right.
So we start with the root chakra.
Exactly. Root is typically red. Goes for survival. I'll just use one keyword because I can use 50 billion different correspondences.
Very many correspondences.
Everyone see? Second chakra. Navel. Orange. Say emotions.
Which would be like your diaphragm level.
Will.
Feel it in my gut.
Just say now. People probably heard of number 6 as being the third eye. Ooh, indigo. I'm not going to pick it right now.
Which, of course, simple correlation would be the sun towards the rainbow.
Exactly. Okay, that's communication. I'm just going to put communication. Or not space. I know. Right now, using our throat chakra